Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about Spider-Man, specifically Spidey in the MCU. Do note that this video is also going to contain some spoilers for Far From Home. If you haven't seen Far From Home yet, do not watch this video because I will spoil some stuff for you. So never keep that in mind. I've heard conversations about like some people felt like there was inconsistency, like they had their issues with just where Spider-Man went from where he was in Civil War to Homecoming to where he is now. Like I've heard like someone use the word specific, like inconsistent, and just like who he is as a character, because you go from like, oh, who he is in Civil War to who he is in Homecoming, because the whole thing in like Homecoming is like, no, I want to join the Avengers, I want to be a part of this team, I want to, step up my hero game. But by the end of it, he's like, but I'm fine with just being the neighborhood Spider-Man. Then you get Infinity War and Endgame, so he's kind of caught up in that, like, universal like war, this fight for the universe. And then like in Far From Home, I was like, I just want to be a kid again, And some people felt like that was off, but I think it's actually pretty consistent with his story, because for him it's like, once again, I want to stay a neighborhood Spider-Man. He's just helping out with the situation, in Infinity War, and then he's like, but Tony, like, he's my hero, like, he needs help, like, obviously I gotta help him, whatever case may be. He wasn't expecting things to kind of go as crazy as they did, and it's like finding himself on this like universal fight like that, and obviously he wouldn't have expected things to turn out the way they did. And even in Endgame, it's like, whoa, they need help, Mr. Stark needs help, we need to fight and defeat Thanos. Okay, I'll step up and do it. But obviously for him, it's like, like, that's a scary thing. And especially like we also think about too, it's like this is also coming off losing Tony. Like obviously it's not something they talk about a lot, but it's still there, like the whole thing of like, Tony's the first person he's lost since his Uncle Ben, most likely. And so for him, it's like, it probably struck a nerve. It like, probably like the Ben thing probably shook him up to the point like, I don't know. And it's like, for him, it's like, he's trying to get grounded again, because it's like, yo, I kind of got involved with saving the whole universe. I kind of don't want to be caught up in that. Like, yeah, people tell me like, oh, you need to be the next, are you going to be the next Iron Man? It's like, I can't, what? Can't I just be me? I like a girl and I just want to spend time with her and my friends. Like, I'm 16. Like, yeah, I thought this is what I wanted before, but it isn't. Like, I'm fine just being the neighborhood Spider-Man, but now other people making it seem like I can't just be the neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. I've got to be more. It's almost like, Iron Man passed his legacy down to you. It's like, we all know he did, so it's up to you to pick up the mantle. It's like, but what? Why is it my responsibility? And obviously responsibility plays a big part in his role. But in Far From Home, he still feels that need of like, yeah, I gotta, I have this responsibility, I have these powers, so I have to act upon it. But at the same time, it leaves him torn. The whole aspect of, once again, like the whole Peter Parker versus being Spider-Man thing. And it's just like, and I think that's a nice progression for his character, because it is so interesting, because like when you actually think it, it's like, okay, Peter started here and he was like, I want to be here, but he's like, I'm okay with being here. But then all of a sudden in Infinity War and Endgame, it's like, oh, I'm up here. It's like, whoa. I'm like, I'm Icarus. I flew too close to the sun too quickly. Like, I already kind of dealt with that with Vulture, but it like got 10 times crazier because of Infinity War. It's like, dude, I got to take a step back. I got to take a breather. I just lost my like mentor, the man that I looked up to so much, Tony. It's like, I need a break. I need to just live, and that's a conversation I think that should be had too. It's like, well, when you think about it, what did Tony do? Like, what did Cap do? They both wanted to get a little slice of that life of just living, instead of just doing the superhero thing. So I think Peter, in a sense, kind of took, a note out of that book too. Is like, he saw that Tony had a family and stuff like that, which before him, it's like, well, Tony didn't have one before. And it's like, he saw Tony lived a life, and in that 5 years, and it's like everyone lived lives in those 5 years. So Peter's like, well, why don't I take a time to live, because like it put things in perspective of just like how crazy this world is. You need to take these opportunities while you have the chance, before the next crazy thing happens. And I think that's something to kind of keep in mind, so. But obviously, like I said, it's just, that bumpy road for him in Far From Home. It ends with him kind of stepping up and becoming, it's like, I don't have to be Iron Man. I can just be me. Like, I can carry on Tony's legacy without having to adopt it and handle it any other way than my own. And he comes into his own strength, and I think that's going to be the beauty of seeing that character progress even further. I love the way some people kind of speak, because like, we're still taking baby steps towards him becoming the Spider-Man he's destined to become. And I think the next movie, potentially, the third one in the series, or I don't know, I doubt I don't know, he could subsequently have another kind of like a Civil War or like an Infinity War or Endgame type of thing of like, oh, he has a smaller part in it, so we could see that. But I'd assume the next time we see him would be in his next movie. But I think that's when we really see him hit his stride, especially with everything he's going to have to deal with potentially in this next movie. I just literally just did a video kind of breaking all that down about what that could potentially mean going forward for him. So I'm loving the progression of this character. I also thought it was kind of interesting because I know some people have had a problem because, like, for him it's like, oh, he's all techie and stuff like that, which, to be fair, I think like that's just more modern Spider-Man and a lot of stuff. I mean, hell, you even look at like the PS4 game, it's like he has all these different suits with all these different abilities and stuff like that. So I think that's a more modern Spider-Man. I think most people, when they think Spider-Man, I mean, I'm sure a lot of stuff kind of like goes with the less techie stuff, but I think it's also kind of part of his story too, because like this is bridging off like the fact is like his suit from Homecoming, which I think, the PS4 game labels it just Stark suit. That suit that was made by Tony Stark, but obviously the upgraded suit, once again, kind of what the PS4 game calls it, he gets in Far From Home. It's like not the stealth suit, but the one he makes himself. It's like he made it himself, kind of showing his scientific brain. That the fact is, going forward, he won't be relying on Tony or anyone else. It's going to be him, once again, just kind of drawing in that, hey, I am Spider-Man, and this is my wheelhouse. This is what I got to do to kind of get my superhero game up and do what I got to do to protect the people I care about, to protect this city I call home, to protect this earth on some occasions as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So, and even the whole conversation of like, and it's something I was talking about earlier of like how he's just kind of not kind of like the quippy person that he is, because, and some people are talking about it too, like I think he'll grow into that. And I think that becomes from the fact that he's not confident because he's a kid. He's still that awkward teenager, but for some people it's like, oh, the moment you become Spider-Man, you have to be confident. I think we still got to work up to that. Like once he becomes a full-fledged Spider-Man, once he's kind of fully spread his wings, which he still hasn't, he's starting to the point where he's kind of spreading them a little bit, but I think next movie will be where he really fully spreads his wings, fully becomes a Spider-Man that everyone knows he's potentially capable of becoming, and step out of kind of being in the shadows and step up to be, once again, the hero he's destined to be. But like I said, these were just some of the things that were kind of floating in my head about Spider-Man that I just kind of want to share with you guys. That's all I'm going to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good